Hey, what's going on? This is Fred. I wanted to bring a video for you guys just to talk about some things that I've talked to several potential clients who've called in and had questions about our services and kind of how they work. In this video, what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk about 8 simple steps if you're looking at trying to get started with repairing your credit, start working on your credit, whether you're doing it yourself or if you're trying to have somebody else do it for you. These are the things that I believe you should look into to try to start positioning yourself into the right place, right? So I'm going to be looking at my other screen because I've taken notes, so I just want to kind of get the make sure I talk about everything and I'm not forgetting anything. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to look at your credit reports. You want to review exactly what's on there. You want to make sure that everything is accurate, right? And what does accuracy mean, and why is that important? Well, the Fair Credit Reporting Act says that if it's on your credit report, that it has to be 100% accurate, meaning no mistakes. It can't be different across the 3 bureaus. Everything reported has to be exactly the same. Otherwise, it would be inaccurate. So that's the first thing. You just want to review, make sure everything is complete. It's not missing any data. All the data points are complete and filled out. You want to make sure of that, right? Next thing you want to do is you want to pay your bills on time. Now, a lot of times people just pay the bill when it comes in. Sometimes, they pay it as they remember. What I'm going to suggest is that you go ahead and get all of your bills set up on automatic bill pay. Whether you're paying directly to the credit card company or the utility company or whatever the case, whatever type of bill it is that you're paying that company directly through their website, or if you set it up with your bank and just have the payment automatically mailed on a specific date, right? So the reason why I say do it automatically is this way you'll never forget to make a payment. A lot of times people come to our program and they want to deal with us as far as trying to get things fixed. But I'm going to be honest with you, late payments are kind of hard. They're a lot harder to get taken off on an open account rather than removing a whole account that has a charge off. Especially because the account's still open, you don't want those things to fall off, and you definitely don't want recent late payments hitting the credit report. It's kind of counterintuitive if you were trying to get these things taken care of. However, you're not paying, you're getting these late payments 30, 60, 90 days, 120, 150, 180 days where the account charges off. So this is very important. Something that I always suggest my clients to do is to set things up. And one of the pushbacks to this is because people are always asking, well, what happens if I don't have the money in the account when it's time for that payment to go out? Well, if you have your budget put in place, which is something that I always suggest as well, is budgeting. If you have that in place, you're going to know, 1, that you have the money there, 2, how much is there, because you're going to be tracking these things, right? It's very important to do this. I know I push on this a whole lot, but there's a reason and a purpose behind that, and it's for this exact reason. A lot of times people come to me because they need credit repair, but credit repair is just the byproduct of what you're not doing, and that's budgeting and keeping your affairs in order. So that's something I wanted to touch on. It's very important for you to understand, and as long as you do that, things will start to pan themselves out as time progresses. All right. Reduce credit utilization. So what does that mean? On any open credit cards that you have, it's very important to keep the balance under 10% of the credit limit. The perfect mix is between 1 and 7%. If you do that, you're going to maximize this section of the credit report, which is credit usage. It counts for 30%. Now, what is 30% and what does that equate to? So a FICO score, it has a low range of 300, a high range of 850. So there's a 550 point spread. 30% of that is 165 points. So a lot of times people say, hey, I want to get my credit fixed. Well, that's addressing 35%. The other 65% is the knowledge that we bring to the table. So in this particular case, what I'm talking about is credit usage. 30% of the credit score, 165 points could put you into a bracket that's going to get you better rates, going to help get you into that 700 club that everybody's looking for, whether it's 720, 740. Now, a lot of times people come to me and say, hey, I want to be in the 800s. That's just for bragging rights. You could be in the 720, 740 range and still qualify for somebody who has an 850 credit score. So it's not really a matter of exactly what you have. It's a matter of what you have when they run your credit, because at any day, any point in time, your scores can change. So just keep that in mind, right? So we talked about reducing the credit utilization. Next thing we're going to talk about is paying off outstanding debt, right? And so this is something that you also want to focus on. Whether you have collections, charge-offs, you want to make sure that you get those accounts in good standing, right? Whether you're paying it off, trying to settle the account, or trying to get it removed. Now, there's a lot of strategies that you can use as far as trying to get that account removed, right, by paying it. Now, a lot of times you might have a collection account or maybe an account that's been charged off. You could always go to them and ask them, hey, I want to try to sell the account for less than what I owe. I didn't have it then to pay. I definitely don't have it now. But if you can offer me some type of assistance to help me get there, I definitely take all the help that I can get, right? Because the ultimate thing you want to do is you don't want to just pay it, but you want to ask them, if you pay it, will they delete it, right? Because if they don't delete it, what's going to happen is going to show as a brand new paid collection, charge off, whatever the case is. So that's going to report for another 7 years. So if you let them know, hey, listen, I'm trying to fix my credit. No, I need to get back to where I once was, because I'm not able to get, a job or a car or housing, whatever the case is. If you ask them to pay for the account, just let them know, I'm trying to fix my credit. And if they tell you, and this is not legal advice, but if they tell you that it will help fix your credit, that could be misleading, right? And that might be something you might want to speak with a consumer rights attorney about, right? Because misleading you to get you to pay for something in the false hopes that something else is going to happen. In this case, if they say if you pay it, it's going to help your credit. But let's say, for example, you had an account that was 6.5 years old, right? 6 months later, the account, if you don't do anything, the account's going to fall off the credit report anyway, right? Or if you pay it, where it would have fell off 6 months from now it's going to report as a brand new paid collection or charge off. Now it's going to start that 7-year clock all over again. So it's just something to be mindful of, right? Avoiding new credit applications. This has to do with inquiries on your credit. This accounts for 10% of your credit score. So earlier when I talked about that 550 point spread, is what I'm talking about. 10% of that is 55 points. So if you are going out and you're applying for credit cards or whatever, auto loan. Let's say, for example, you want to get a car, right? And you go to the dealership. The dealership is going to run your credit report. Then they send that to, say, 12 different banks. So not only do you have the dealership running your credit, but you have all these other banks running your credit. And it's supposed to count as one inquiry. We all know that this may not be the case, right? They may not have the way they're reporting accurately, and it could be different amount of inquiries being reported. It also shows on the credit report. So if you have like a manual underwriter who's actually reviewing the credit report, they might be able to see it. But if not, I don't know what the algorithms are that are reading the different types of loans that you're applying for. So when you're trying to work on your credit, be precise, be specific in regards to what you're doing to make sure that you're aware of what's going to happen from doing the things that you're going to be doing. Okay. Maintaining a mix of credit types. This is something that is also worth 55 points, right? Credit mix. 10% of the credit score is based on the types of accounts that you have. So, you want to have a few different credit cards, revolving accounts. You also want to have personal loans or some type of loan, whether it's a personal loan, student loan, auto loan. These types of loans act differently, right? And then if you have a mortgage, that's going to count as a different type of loan. So all of these things are going to work in your favor. You know, if you have these accounts, great. Continue to do what you're doing with them. Just make sure that you're paying the accounts on time. Make sure that, you know, whatever you're trying to do, you're doing that, right? How much do you owe? How are you paying those? What does the finances in the home look like? All of these things have different types of areas for dealing with your credit. So it's something that I want to make sure that you guys are dealing with, right? Building a positive credit history. A lot of times people come to me and all they have is charge-offs and collections. They don't have anything that's open. So these are the times that you want to start with the building process, right? If you go to the website, my website is fredlevi.com, or you can also go to approvemyscore.com. I have resources there. But basically what I have is I have a free blueprint. I call it the credit building blueprint. It's going to give you an idea of exactly how you can go about starting to build your credit profile, because you have to start building that up. Now, a lot of times people say, hey, what happens if I don't qualify? So I have, if you read through the manual that I have, it's a very short manual, but it gives you the different companies that we've worked with over the past and the types of results that we get. We typically see 100 points or more. Somewhere in that average area is what we tend to see our clients get. So starting that credit building blueprint will help you get on your way to starting to rebuild with your credit report. And finally, consider professional assistance if needed. If you've gone through everything, you've tried sending out dispute letters, you really don't know exactly what you're doing, you're just looking at YouTube, like this video here, and things just don't seem to be working, that's what professionals are there for, right? You have different professionals in different areas of people who you can target and talk to. Just a few things that I think that you should be mindful if you are going to start working with a company or somebody who's going to be helping assist you with your credit endeavors. Okay, so the first thing that you want to look forward to, you don't want them overcharging you and like saying, hey, give me, you know, whatever, give me $1,000 up front and then $1,000 when we finish, for example. Now, keep in mind, if you are dealing with a company, they may ask for an enrollment fee. Typically, when you're doing an enrollment fee, you're going to get something like a back office that you can go ahead and upload your documents into. You'll be able to see, they call it a portal. You'll be able to see exactly up to the moment type of information on there. Like if there's any letters, you should be able to review the letters that have been sent out on your behalf. So these types of things will be in there. You're paying for different types of things. Like some companies may go to the secondary bureaus to try to get freezes placed on the secondary bureau so that the main three can't verify that information. So there's a lot of tips, tricks, and tactics that companies should be able to go into, but it's something that you definitely want to make sure that you're comfortable when you talk to them as far as what they're offering, what their offer is. Now, myself, I'm no longer a credit repair company, right? So I do not do credit repair. However, right, and a big however, I do include credit repair in the services that I offer. My company is a finance company, not a finance company. It's we do financial consulting, right? So our main purpose and our main job is to help transform your spending habits, the habits that you've had that have gotten you into the predicament. Because when I look at credit repair, like I said earlier, that's a byproduct of something that wasn't being done initially, right? Which is budgeting and keeping on top of the budget to make sure that what's coming in is enough to pay all the bills. If not, that's why you're going into default, right? So are you out buying things that are needs rather than wants? Or excuse me, wants rather than needs, right? Like you need a house over your head, you need a vehicle to get to and from work. If you don't have a vehicle, you need money to get back and forth to places, whether you're taking public transportation, Uber, Lyft, whatever the case is, you have these things available. So you want to make sure the money is there, right? You need food, right? But do you need that Gucci wallet, or do you need that Louis Vuitton purse? You know, I don't know exactly where you are, but I'm trying to speak to those people who know that they spend on things that are unnecessary, right? Do I need? Bear with me. Do I need to go out and pay for dinner, or should I go home and cook dinner, right? Am I going to go out here and spend $150 on dinner, or am I going to go grocery shop and spend $15 on my dinner, right? And that dinner is going to feed multiple people. So these are the types of things that I work with my clients on. As part of my service, I do send out dispute letters on your behalf to help address the issues that are on your credit, right? Because a true financial coach is going to coach you not only on those things that deal with, things like your budget, things like insurances and things like that, but we're also going to address credit, because credit is a part of our financial consulting company, right? And what it is that we do, because it's a byproduct of not paying your bills, not having your budget in order. So just wanted to give you these 8 different steps, because I want to make sure that you're in a right place, you're thinking correctly, you know exactly what to look for when you're dealing with getting started with credit, and the things to look after, and the things to keep in mind when you're going through that, whether it's with yourself or going through a professional or dealing with somebody who's not, right? Because at the end of the day, the goal that I have for you guys is just to make sure that you guys are getting the things that you need to get, right? Which is a want, right? We all have our needs, but a lot of times we want our wants. And unless you address the needs and address the budget and address the finances that are coming in, you'll never get to where you want to go until you get these things addressed. So with that being said, I appreciate you guys for watching the video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'd definitely like to work on those and help get those questions answered for you. So with that being said, I appreciate it once again. If you know somebody who will find this video helpful, pass it along to them, right? And I appreciate a like if you like the video. Like I said, if you have questions, put them in the comments below. Let me answer those questions for you, okay? And consider subscribing to the channel. Definitely have things coming out that I'd love to put in front of you. But the only way to do that is to subscribe. Otherwise, you have to type me in manually. And then hit that bell notification and hit all. So that way, whenever I drop a video, you'll be notified. Have a good day, folks.